Whenever you're ready.
Today I'm going to tell you a story about a boy that grew up, your average boy, kind of had all the challenges, just typical family, and grew up to live the American dream. His name's Herman Cain. He was born in Memphis, Tennessee, but actually grew up and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He had a brother, Thurman Cain. His father worked 3 jobs. His mom stayed at home with him the whole time. They lived back, it was during segregation in the South when they were growing up. His family really only had two goals and dreams growing up. They wanted to buy a house for Herman and Thurman family, and they wanted to both graduate from college. Well, Herman was the first part of that dream when he graduated with a degree in mathematics from Morehouse College in 1967. His father did finally manage to buy the home working 3 jobs. His brother Thurman then finished the dream when he graduated from Morris Brown College a couple years later. Herman didn't stop there though. He continued his education and got a master's degree in computer science from Purdue University. They didn't have a whole lot of money, so while they were growing up, or while they were doing school, he worked full-time developing fire control systems for the Navy, for the fighter ships and planes. When he graduated from Purdue University, he wanted to move back home to Atlanta and got a job as a computer systems analyst for Coca-Cola. He was very successful there, did very good, received many promotions, and decided that he wanted to move on to a bigger challenge, so he took a job at Pillsbury Company. He was named the regional vice president of a low-performing Philadelphia region of Burger King's. The region actually included 450 stores, but was headquartered out of Philadelphia. Within 3 years, he took that lowest performing region of Burger King's, and it was the highest performing region of Burger King's in the whole country. After this, Pillsbury was looking to expand. They had found a company called Diversa Foods, which had 300 more Burger King franchises. The thing about Diversa Foods, though, they owned a bunch of little companies that Pillsbury didn't really want. But Diversa Foods said it was all or nothing. They weren't going to sell the Burger Kings. So Pillsbury decided to go ahead and just buy the whole company out. And when they did that, they got Godfather's Pizza. I'm sure you heard of them. So, according to Angie Holden, in an article published June 10, 2011 by PolitiFact, they didn't really know what to do with Godfather's. It was on the brink of bankruptcy, and they just knew they had to do something or just shed it. Well, they decided that Herman Cain was a good candidate to move up from vice president to a president, and he wanted another challenge. He loves challenges. So he agreed to take the reins of Godfather's Pizza and try to bring it out of bankruptcy. They had 620 stores when he started. He transformed the chain. He went in, started working on marketing, got rid of all their advertising, brought in a whole new company to do advertising. He visited every single store, looked at the menus, the cleanliness, the quality of them, and said they just weren't doing good enough. So he put in higher quality standards, took their menu, said it was too big and complicated, and actually just reduced it to a very small menu. He added pizza delivery and closed all the poor performing stores that he didn't think had a chance. Within 14 months, he had them out of bankruptcy and operating back in the green financially. 2 years after the buyout, just been about 8 months after he brought them back into the green, Pillsbury decided they didn't want to keep Godfather's Pizza, they just wanted the Burger Kings, and so they decided to sell Godfather's Pizza. Well, Herman got with his management team and decided they would do a buyout together and they would all take over Godfather's. So they did that, and he's remained the CEO until 1994. In 1994, he was nominated and named the president of the National Restaurant Association. As a part of this, it was his job basically to work in lobbying. He'd never done any kind of politics, but he had to kind of try to help out the best interests of the Restaurant Association. Well, this is while Bill Clinton was trying to get his healthcare reform going. Hillary actually ran most of the healthcare reform for Bill Clinton. He just kind of marketed it as his. So, according to The Lost Chance, which was published in Newsweek on September 18, 1994, by Bob Cohen and Eleanor Clift, they named Herman Cain the saboteur of Hillary Care, as he went to a town hall meeting where Clinton was promoting the whole thing, and he basically on TV argued with him and said that he was wrong, that the numbers didn't work, and that he was going to sabotage businesses, and if this was implemented, they would have to cut employees just to pay for the health care. They went back and forth, and Clinton finally just told him to send him the numbers to try to get him to hush and be quiet. And that was his first political fight where he really started getting involved in politics. He currently has a radio talk show in Atlanta. He's a regular contributor on a lot of media networks and travels the country and does keynote speeches. According to his autobiography, which is on his website, hermancain.com, his number one priority is his family still. He's got 3 children and 2 grandchildren. He's been married to his wife Gloria for 43 years. He's now running for president, trying to get the Republican nomination. His biggest platforms, he thinks we need to strengthen national security, reduce government spending, fix immigration reform, promote domestic energy, and increase economic growth and repeal and replace Obamacare with a more business-friendly healthcare. His primary platform is his economic growth and his 999 plan, which he thinks will help the it'll be a 9% business tax, a 9% individual tax, and a 9% national sales tax. He says that'll basically close loopholes, reduce regulatory burden on the IRS, and it'll be less fraud in the system, and believes that will be one step as far as moving the economic climate forward. So it's basically he just went from the ground up, didn't have a chance in segregation, and now he's running for president. So. Oh yeah, probably should have said that.
Well, I figured out the amount from segregation.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Well, not all the students at, who's at Morehouse are African American.
Do what?
Not all the students at Morehouse. Morehouse is a historically black school,
College.
kind of like Langston.
Oh, I just heard him say at the very end of the speech, he said from the ground up.
Well, I guess it wasn't him, it was his brother that went to Morehouse, is that what you said?
Yeah, his brother went to Morris Brown, he went to Moore.